All right, here we are, ready to go with reveal number 774. This is a 1950S original Batdorf roll. Now, this is what a Batdorf roll is. Batdorf roll is wrapped in such a way that it has a V cut in the paper. They are very tight, very tightly wound, very tightly crimped on the ends. Batdorf rolls have a tendency to be in better shape because of the tight wrapping. There's no gaps for air and moisture to get in through to the coins. What's very unusual about this is that 1950 is a very early year to find Batdorf rolls. In fact, they exist back to 1919 when Charles Batdorf received the patent for his type of rolling machine that wound the rolls like this. And that is the history of the Batdorf roll. Now, this is a non-Batdorf roll. It's rolled rather loosely, and the paper makes a slanted slit going all the way around. And these are not very tight. You can actually squeeze the paper to see out to the edge of the coins. And this is how these are naturally rolled. These are American coin wrappers, American coin wrapping machine. But the Batdorf patent was applied for in 1915, I believe, and many rolls were wrapped like this starting in the teens and 20s, but most of those are gone now. Probably about the earliest you'll find one of these is in the 30s or 40s now, and they are rather scarce until you get up to about 1956-57. So that's what's really unusual about this one, is that 1950S is not generally found in Batdorf wrappers. But we're going to open this one up and get on it now. Almost hate to open a Batdorf roll that's this old, but that's why they're scarce, because people keep opening them. And so here we go. Got that end opened up. Flip it over and open up the other end. And who knows what we might find inside. These have been wrapped since 1950. Wrapper's never been opened until now. And there we go. 1950 Batdorf roll. San Francisco Mint. Let's bounce it out, start getting the first coin under the scope. This one's for Roger. And here we go. Let me get this very well lit. Let's see here. There we go. All right. I don't see anything here in the mint mark and date area of the first coin. No eyelid. Nothing in God we trust. And for the reverse, nothing special. And that, unfortunately, is what you get on the end of the older Batdorf rolls. This is a scratch from the crimper, from the hold mechanism that holds the coins in place while they're spinning around to put a wrapper on them. They typically get damaged and beat up like that in that scraping motion. All right. Coin number 2, shiny coin guy. Nothing there. We've still got a few spots. Hoping this gets better as we go along. No doubling on this side. Let's check the other side. I don't personally know of any double die reverses on 1950S. However, it is possible. They're going to be more or less typical double die reverses, which will generally show and In God We Trust are along the wheats on either side of the design. Coin number 3 now for Carl. And Carl's coin is an RPM. Nice big split lower serif RPM there. And so, a little bit of a clash going on there too. We've got our first variety of the roll, even though it has a pretty big spot on it. Nothing on the reverse. Let's get a marker for this so we'll know when we run into additional coins of this die. Okay, got some east and west die scratches coming into the 1 of the date from the west. And anything else? Let's see. Got an east-west die scratch directly under the S mint mark down there. So we'll be able to use that to determine when we see other coins of the same die. Here's number 4, Orig. Orig. That's an RPM there too. This one shows the middle of an S right here, sticking up above the typical. This is this area right here, the center curve, way up high. So that's another RPM. That's a very nice one. A little difficult to see from this angle, but when you twist it around a little bit, it makes it easy to see. And you see it's completely invisible like this. But once you get on around here, it gets to become visible again. And right here, it's very visible. So very nice. I'm going to call this a northeast RPM. Second RPM for the roll. First one was a split serif. Second one is a nice northeast. That coin goes to Orig. Next up, coin number 5 for Dan. Dan the Man. What does the Dan the Man get? And this one doesn't have any variety going on in the mint mark area, but it does have a very nice marker to let us know that we've seen this die. Let's look at the reverse on this one. Kind of a late die state reverse. Nothing inspiring. Now number 6, Taco John. Taco John. That's another one of the die we just saw. That is a lamination peel right there. There's a lamination spot. You can see the missing metal right here, and then the big jagged edged split going all the way around through here. So that is a lamination. It continues on over here. So that's what all this is lamination. Goes straight across the coin. Not bad. Not bad. Let's check the reverse on this one, just to be sure. I don't want to miss anything. Don't necessarily want to repeat myself, but I also don't really want to miss anything. So if I'm not 100% sure, I check it. All right. There's that. Now coin number 7. Eric Maith. Back in the game, Eric Maith. That's an awful funky looking splotch there. That's struck through something. Appears to be retained on the coin. Got no doubling or anything on this one. On the obverse, anyway. Let's flip it over and check the reverse and see what we have there. I don't think anything will come of it. A few dark spots on this one. So this, what you're seeing here, is all treatment of the coin before it left the wrapping facility. Which isn't always the best. Orig. There's Eric right there. Orig up next. Let's see. Not seeing anything there. Nothing. Different die though, so we'll keep looking around. Nothing on the eye. Nothing on the motto. Nothing on Liberty. Check the reverse real quick. Got another one. A little bit of splotchy marks on it. These could have been stored in moisture for a while around the time they were wrapped. There's a big dig taken out of the rim on this one. Likely during the wrapping process. Here's coin number 9 now, Dirty Water. And Dirty Water gets another one of our RPMs. This RPM. Nice northeast right there with a extra middle curve showing up. So that's a awesome one for Dirty Water. I'm actually excited about that RPM. I like that RPM. I'm sure it's listed. I just don't remember which one it would be. Got blotches on this one too. And some spots. All right, coin number 10, Sissy. Let's see what Sissy gets. Well, I've got nothing showing up on this one yet. It's late die state. A little difficult to read. Late die state on the reverse too. Nothing special. That coin was a lot cleaner than the previous ones. Maybe that's what'll happen through this roll, is it'll get cleaner as we go along. Carl up next. Nice. Carl gets the first RPM that we found, which is exactly what we found for him before. So now he has 2 of these. And nobody else has one yet. Coins numbered 3 and number 11, both for Carl. Raymond Lungi. Nothing really here. Let's keep looking on the obverse here, see if we can find anything. I'm going to have to find myself a marker to use on this. I think that's a die scratch down below and to the right of the S. We'll try to use that, see if that works out for us. Let's see. Got nothing else on this one. Got 2 Erics in here. I wonder if Bayer will show up. Oh, we could have 3 Erics in here at once. And then I'm in chit-chats now with the editor of a magazine that I'm going to publish an article in, and his name is Eric. So I'm getting emails from him and from Bayer. I got Erics surrounding me on all sides. But that's okay. I feel the warmth. The Eric love. Coin number 14 now. Shinbone. The pollen here is just horrible. Nothing there. Oh, we've seen this die, a big old die scratch on the nose. Can't spell America without you. There it is right there. Let's see if we can do this just right. There it is. Perfect. The Orig coins. All wheat cents are Orig coins. All right. That's enough for head blowing up right now and making people so self-proud they can't walk through a door. That's right. What's up, St. Blaine? Got nothing on that coin. Let's go to number 15. This one's for Mark. Got another RPM. First one out of the roll. First RPM in the roll. This was the first one that doesn't go to Carl. Carl's got 2 of these. And now Mark has one. Nothing else on it, but a nice RPM. Just off the injured infected reserve. Oh my. That's why you haven't been around. What's going on, buddy? If you don't mind me asking. And if you do, just don't respond. Out of pure concern. Full of surprises we are. That's how we do it today. Full of surprises. Nothing on this one. Oh my gosh. But you're doing okay again though, right? Pneumonia, the flu, fungal infection, bad concussion. Good Lord. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but it couldn't really get a lot worse, could it? Shin bone. Well, that's a lot of die scratches for a coin that's got nothing on it. So this one's got to be an RPM or a double die or something, right? I mean, why would they put all those markers on a die for us to find nothing, right? So we got to check the reverse on this one. Nope. Says you can't have America without Orig, but you can't have money without pennies. You know why? Because they have a O-N-E right on the back. Right there. You can't spell money without one. Hut. Yeah, old Danny didn't like the name Nine Toes, so he's now gone to being called Eight Toes. If he loses any more, he'll start entering sloth territory. A 4-toed sloth and a 3-toed sloth. He'll probably move around about as fast as one, too. That's right. Danny's back on even. He was at odds for a while. Yep. Some people do it right and just lose the whole foot. Richard, there's another one of our RPMs. Can you new guys to the roll figure this one out? Tell me where the RPM is on this one. Anyone? 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 How about if we flip it upside down? That'll make the RPM easier to see. How about that, boys and girls? We have a helly jelly, nice northeast RPM going on here. This is our third one in the roll. And it's right at 180 RPM. When you got to flip 180 to really see it. Because like this, you can see it only if you know what you're looking for. But this little bit right here and this little bit right here are both parts of the RPM. It's the only bad part about having a totally manual microscope. You have to do everything for it. It doesn't autofocus, auto light, white balance, any of that stuff. This is just a microscope. Makes it so much better than... What the hell? I don't need to talk to spam right now. Not interested. Okay, so that's another one of our RPMs. This one goes to Richard. This is our third one in this roll. Chucky. Let's see what Chuck number 2 gets. That's a first RPM of the roll. Nice big split lower serif. And that one's going to go to Chuck. Let me get this back down to a level that's not molecular in nature. I can read this big old Larry on here. Find the culprit. You realize 1950. These are rolled in 1950. Say the person who rolled them was 20 years old at the time. That would make them 90 years old today. 90 years old. So you're talking about historic fingerprints at this point. That's right, not a single one of these coins has been touched since 1950. These just came out of an original Batdorf roll. That's a little bit too far away, isn't it? That's another one of our other RPMs. I love this RPM, man. This is just sweet. But it's another one of those. Awesome. Let's read Doug's question. I have a cent that weighs 2.65 grams. It's smooth and no raised devices. You can make out some of the details, but not all. How would you be able to tell if it's just a worn away number 1? If it's just worn away number 1, or 2, a split before strike, thin planche. Okay, I get it. The way to tell is if you have a strike after a split, you're always going to have some of the lamination remnants. In other words, you're going to have straight lines on the coin that are dug into the coin. And you will almost never see a split before strike where you can't see that, because you don't have enough distance between the two dies to completely cover that split altogether. So you're going to be able to see it's going to be a very weak strike, and that'll be the case. Now, if you don't see anything and you have a very weak strike with nice, it has to be nice even fields and such, and you should have pretty decent looking details except in the higher points. That would be a rolled thin stock, maybe dime. No, it wouldn't be dime stock. Well, it could be a dime stock. What year is the coin? I really like this. It makes me want to look at it more. Sloppy Sex gets that coin. Coin number 23 now. Pull. Polly. Well, probably got to nothing this time around. What is going on with my little stands and such? I've got to level all this stuff out a little better. Seems like I need to be using a block of wood or metal or something instead of stacked board. Because stacked board tends to lean a little bit, and that pulls things out of focus. And I don't like that. Okay, it's a Wheatie. If it's a Wheatie, then a dime stock would be silver, so that's not something we're involved or interested in. If you can get pictures of it, send me pictures. I'll take a look at the pictures and I'll let you know what I think. Either way, I'm no expert in errors, so I do the best I can with them. But I would be able to tell you more or less what I think it is. The other possibility is if it looks really rough and it's real thin, it could be an acid soaked coin. The coin is mostly gone because of muriatic acid or battery acid or hydrochloric acid, something like that. They did that back in those days. They did that because it was simple and easy and relatively cheap to do if you did it like with a whole roll of pennies or a couple of rolls of pennies. And then, well, those were used. There's another die 1 on the roll. A lot of those were used as dimes in vending machines. And it was a very good way to make a 9-cent profit, because back then a lot of things could be purchased for a dime in a vending machine. Okay, well, get a picture for me, because I can't really do a whole lot without a picture. There's one from Mark. First RPM. Again. Dun 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 dun. Turning out with a good roll here. For those of you who just joined us, this was, in the beginning, a Batdorf roll. Very, very tightly wound roll with a V cut in the paper. I'll show you the paper here again. This is what the paper looked like on this roll. It was not marked, but the end of it had a V cut, and it was wrapped very, very tightly around the coins, a lot like your candy striped rolls of today. Those are all Batdorf style rolls. All right, Eric Maith. Next up, and he gets an RPM 1 out of the roll. First RPM found in the roll, and we have another example. So Carl is not going to be the only person to end up one of these. We have half a dozen of them now, a little more than half a dozen. Coin 28 goes to Doug, and Doug will get another RPM 1 out of the roll. So we are on a streak. Hopefully we can continue the streak. They call him the streak. Look at that, look at that. Taco John. Oh, there's another one. I knew that because as soon as it came up, I saw the die crack. And this die crack is part of a marker for this particular RPM. I've been using this right down here, which is a big old pickle mark at the end of the vest. That showed up on every one of these so far. As has the crack, but I don't look at that first. But this one's for Taco John. Shinbone comes up next. Do not break my streak. Look at that, look at that. Oh, not a streak broken here, I don't think. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay, I think it's a nothing. False alarm there. It's a nothing coin. So everybody can blame Shinbone for breaking the streak. Blame it on Shinbone. I didn't do it. It's not my coin. Dirty water. Now, a decent man will get us right back on that winning streak. A decent man. Watch. Well, I guess watch for the next one. Oh, Mr. Valley hasn't quite picked it out and figured it out yet. Well, keep going. Alex. Still nothing. Still nothing there. Stanley. Well, that's about half of an S there. And it's not an RPM, not a doubled eyelid. I'll check the reverse on this one because we've fallen behind in our quota of finding good stuff in the rolls. So I'm hoping that maybe you will have done the variety dance enough to bring varieties back to the remainder of this roll. Those of you who are not superstitious may keep your comments to yourself. There's another one. Another nothing. Nada. Not a thing. Womp, womp, womp. And I have drawn a complete silence out of the chat. Absolutely nobody's saying nothing. Everybody's holding their breath, waiting for the varieties to come back to the roll. Will my lady Sissy do it? No. Not this time. She has saved the day before, but she's probably not watching right now, or she'd have saved the day again. DC. What do we see for DC? Nothing again, man. This is another one with the scratch on the nose. Big old scratch on the nose. Die scratch. All right, so the first half of the roll provides. The second half, well, not so much. So you start to think, wow, really? Could it be this bad? Well, I guess it could. Who's going to be the gentleman or the lady who picks us up? Who? Who? Oh, it's Jim. Looky there. Jim gets one of our East RPMs. Northeast spread on this with a stripe of color. So Jim opens the door back up to RPMs. Nice North Carolinian gentleman there. Number 40, Surag. Now see, he's not going to pull us off of our luck. We're going to get something good here. Or not. Nope, nothing here. Okay, well, Jim puts us off. Puts us on the lead. Orig takes us off. Hi, Daring Doberman. I have no idea where that came from, but good information. Farm Dog. He's always been a good guy. Until now. Giving us all the great finds. And here we go. Straight off the edge. No pick-me-up. No nightcap. No drink after. Just straight down the tube. Well, and Carl comes back to continue the embarrassment. How about number 43? Sloppy Stacks. Nothing. Again, not an RPM. Not there. Wow. I thought we were going to have an excellent roll, and then it just went dry. Desert dry. Just like that. Taco John? Nope. That's another one of those. Big old die crack scratch running through the mint mark. Nothing. 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 Y'all trying to make me look bad, I know. Richard. Richard likes me. Not enough, but he likes me. Not enough. That's a scratch on the nose guy. And a Larry to add. Somebody really manhandled these coins before they went in their wrapper. Number 46 here. Oop, that one's upside down. Let's flip old Roger around. Make him stand up the same way everybody else does. There we go. Roger. There's one right there. First RPM of the roll again for Roger. Get all of you guys dragging me down, and I get a pickup from a left coaster. Staff Sergeant Doberman, retired U.S. Army. Thank you for your service. There's another one. See, Jim knows how to do it. Right there. He's got two of those now. Yes, sir. I am Daughtrey Charles D., Staff Sergeant, United States Air Force. 10 years service. At your service. IT comes up next. A beautiful Bethel Ann. What does she get? A donut. She gets a big old donut. Unfortunately. Bummer. 49. Got two chances left. One of them belongs to Dan. Come on, 8 toes. The coin sloth gets nothing this time around. Scratch on the nose. Nothing else. That's a bummer. Kind of a bum rap there, huh? Coin number 50. Eric Maith. Let's end this with a bang, not a bum. No bang. The S mint mark was basically wiped away in that one, but good thing it didn't matter. All right. Well, that's what we got this time around. Nice little bank wrap roll we got going on there. RPM 1 for the roll, which is the nice split lower serif. I'm going to go through the names here real quick. Ten of them. The next one, the beautiful Northeast, splits Northeast RPM. Got 6 of those. So that is how we do it here in Copper Coins Land. Got some good stuff out of this. So I don't want to hear you complain. Nobody complaining here. You guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hunting through the roll with me. I am going to take about a 3-minute break, and I'll be back with reveal number 775. I'll see ya on the other side. Be well. Go back out in the lobby, find it, and come back in. Reveal number 775. See you then.